What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Littleroot Lessons, episode 288. I'm your host, Angelo, and I'm joined by a very tired-looking Carter.
Nope, just disappointed in you.
I mean, who can say?
No, yep.
I mean, it's not like I literally just did the opening, your computer died, I go to do it again, and I just thought, what am I doing? What do I say? How do words work?
How do I podcast? What do I do?
Yeah,
I've only done 100 of these. What do I do?
Yeah, I've done a lot more than 100 of these, I think.
There's no way you've been around that long.
Actually, no, that
is probably about right.
Yeah, no, because Amelia turned 2 today. Happy birthday, Amelia. The daughter of Littleroot Lessons. So yeah, she turns 2, and I think you were doing the intro
up until then. Yeah.
No, I think like the first few, like you, me, and J Pods. You did.
No, I think once you came along, I made you do it.
I just started doing it. Okay, yeah. So yeah, actually, probably is like relatively close to 100. And I just forgot what to say. Hi everyone. It's been a weekend for everyone in the Littleroot Lessons family. I turned 30 on Friday.
I went golfing today.
How was that? Was that your first time golfing in like a few months at least?
So we went at the end of June and got poured on, like torrential downpour, to the point where like the clubhouse said, yeah, you can go out, but I wouldn't recommend it. So we tried to. Played 2 holes, look at each other, and went, why are we still out here? And drove the hour home. They gave us like a pass to like, hey, your next round's covered because you've already paid this, like kind of deal, right? By the time we got to the car, because we put them in our pocket, by the time we got to the car, they were ruined. So I tried to call them to see if like how they would handle that. The guy is like, oh yeah, I'll need you to talk to a manager. Can I put you on hold? I said, okay, sure. Puts me on hold. And then like a minute later, we're sorry we couldn't answer your phone call at this time. Goodbye. Click. I'm like, what? I just wanted to talk.
Why do you hate me?
So instead we went to my favorite course to play. We usually only play 9. Just because 18 is a long day. I could have played 18 today just because I was so excited to get out and play. But this course we go to, the front 9 is completely shaded, completely wooded. Just beautifully. The entire course is beautifully upkept. Just fantastic course. And
back 9's just miserable.
No, the back is wide open in a plain, like the they have a bunch of like sand traps and stuff in the back half, like some water hazards, like they have a par 3 that you have to shoot over the lake. They have another par 4 we had to shoot the other way over the lake. Just the front and the back play completely different. Like it feels like you're playing 2 separate courses. It's genuinely like one of my favorite courses I've ever played. And yeah, I played really, really well today.
That's good.
Smacked the living hell out of the ball for the first time in several months, and just let it rip and felt great playing. Oh yeah, it was great. And then naturally we have NFL Sunday back today.
We didn't play on Sunday. We played on Thursday. How'd that go for you, buddy?
We're like one really good player away from winning that game, I think.
Yeah, I think you were. like if you had like a Micah Parsons type on your team, maybe you could have beaten us.
So I'm sure there's going to be people who don't understand what I'm talking about.
No, and also just for our newer listeners, once it hits football season,
this is what the podcast becomes for the next 9 months. I'm sorry.
Only for like the first 10 minutes or so, and then we'll get to the Pokemon.
Yeah, we eventually talk about Pokemon, but
especially today though, because we beat you.
So I am an avid Dallas Cowboys fan. I have been for like 20 years or so, like forever at this point. This off season, we had the opportunity to re-sign probably like I'd say
no, he's the best defensive player in football.
Yeah, I would definitely put him in like top 3. Like,
yeah,
it's very, very solid top 3 defensive player in the entire league. He approached us multiple times over the last couple of years about re-signing. We said, no, we'll just hold off. No big deal. His contract expires next year. So we're like, hey, we should probably go ahead and get a deal going. Started working on it, but without his agent, because our owner doesn't like agents for some reason, even though everyone in the league has one. Anyone who's negotiating their own contracts is an idiot, doesn't know what they're doing, but whatever. Came to an agreement with the guy in private, sent it over to his agent. His agent went, I don't agree to this. We didn't agree to this. And said, hey, we need to renegotiate. And we said, no. And so it became a huge ordeal. We fought about it for months. He requested a trade. We sat on it for another 6 weeks or so. And then I wake up one day to him being sent to my least favorite team in the entire league for genuinely nothing. And they signed him to a contract that I think was genuinely undervaluing him. And
I mean, they did give him, so he has, he broke the non-quarterback record by $6 billion a year annual value. But at the same time,
I still don't think it's enough.
He's because he's that good.
He's genuinely insane. And so leading up to this, our offense is kind of not great. We don't really have a running back. I don't really like our quarterback. I haven't really liked him for several years. Our defense just literally shot themselves in the leg. Just a lot of problems. So going into Thursday, I think my exact message leading up to that game was, the Eagles are going to win 106-3. I think that's my exact words.
I think I saw that before, because I wasn't even able to watch the first half of the game. I was at a meeting, and I think that was the last thing I saw. And for those of you who, I think it's very clear for me, I am a diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan. Go Birds! I bleed green. I am a sicko, a psychopath, honestly just a not great human being. My wife will not watch football with me because she said, and I quote, I make her too anxious, and she doesn't understand why I act the way I act because I'm not playing the game. Even after 9.5 years, she's starting to finally get it, and she just thinks I'm mentally ill. She's correct. So if the first thing I did at age 30 was watch the Cowboys beat the Eagles on banner night at home, I would have walked into the Charles River and just kept going, and you and Carl would need another co-host. But that didn't happen. I was able to ring in 30 with a win. Yesterday, my wife threw me a surprise Pokemon pizza party at a bowling alley, which is exactly where you go for your 30th birthday. You do the same exact birthday party you got when you were 7, and it was fun.
My 30th, I went to a casino, so...
Yeah, it's the dichotomy of things.
They're essentially the same thing, right? Just giant building where people go and spend way more money than they anticipated and get a lot of fun out of it.
Yeah, no, pretty much. That tracks.
Bowling alleys are basically casinos for kids.
Yeah. And so while we had that, the golfing, the birthday, the football, and all this, there was a lot going on in the Pokemon VGC world. See, running that all around. This week is the first week where we had locals back. As of September 1st, the VGC 2025-2026 season has officially started. The first cup in New England was held today in a Mexican restaurant. Yeah.
To be fair, my LGS I go to, they started by hosting League Cups in a Burger King. So,
yeah, this is a new store, and I don't know how the hell this happened, but somehow there was a miscommunication, and the store owner thought that the entire tournament would take 1 hour. And so he scheduled his massive One Piece local an hour at, like, it was like the cup started at 11 and he scheduled the One Piece tour for noon.
Yeah.
And he was like, what do you mean?
What do you mean each round is an hour?
Yeah, not exactly, but kind of close. And so he was like, well, let me go next door to the Mexican place and see if the restaurant will, like,
let rent out a room
and play there. Yeah, no, like, that's literally what happened. And it's, I don't know what happened. I don't know, like,
I also feel like VGC players are degenerate enough they would. So, funny story, actually. Years ago, when Carl and I still played Magic, like, and traveled for stuff, TCG player ran states. They had a states tournament, and maybe it wasn't states, but it was like it might have been Star City Regionals. They would host like 10 of them across the U.S. and they were all on the same weekend, so you couldn't play in multiple of them, right? And so you would. The one we went to was up at this store called Collector's Cash. Very, very big store up in Kansas City. And we get there, and this is one of the first times I had been in this store. It's packed. Like, every table in the building is packed. This is the only event they're running. And mind you, this is where Carl and I go play locals now as well, when they host them there. And usually when we do, they have like 2 or 3 different events going on. They'll have like Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing and et cetera, right? We get there, every table is full of Magic players. Every single one of them. To the point where they set up tables in the back room and had people playing on them. That still wasn't enough space. So they had people standing playing at the front counters.
Wow.
Dude, it was insane how packed this building was. And it honestly probably violated fire code, but
yeah. So that actually happened.
But
it was like a Rhode Island TCG tournament when I was like younger. There literally were so many people in the building that they got like the fire marshal was called.
Insane.
And so someone ratted on them and they're like, yeah, you're over code. You cannot host this tournament here. And we had to move it to like the main hub of like New England Pokemon TCG, which at the time was in Milford, Massachusetts. So it would, which was like 50 minutes away from where the store was in Rhode Island. So yeah, that whole thing, like that whole thing of local store gets way too many players. I've seen it before. You didn't get the fire marshal called on you though.
It just shows me that people who want to play tournaments are willing to play literally wherever they are, like wherever they possibly can. Like,
absolutely.
At the next door Mexican restaurant, at Burger King, standing at the front counter, they don't care. They'd probably sit outside and play on the sidewalk if they had to, man.
Yeah. And I think it's like, I don't know, I can't remember. I think it was like 13 or not 13. I think it was like at least a dozen players, if not a little more, at this event. I mean, there's going to be a lot of events for us coming up to the point where, like, I think today there were like 2 cups. And then I think next week we're having another situation where there's going to be like 2 cups on the same day. Only because like there's just not enough. Like, we're at the point where there might be too many TOs for the weekends that we're trying to do events, which is like kind of nuts, but also really cool. So not only were there locals this week, we also had our first grand challenge of the season. Which I'm just going to do a quick screen share on that.
Yeah, you're going to have to, because if I open another tab, my Riverside crashes and my computer dies. Not that we've had that happen tonight, or last time I was on, or anything else, but you know.
I don't know. Who can say? So just for those of you who don't know, or just need a refresher, a grand challenge is the same as a global challenge. They're online ladder tournaments where you can play a maximum of 45 battles, 15 per day. As best of 1 closed team sheet battles in order to earn championship points towards your World's Invite or your Ace Trainer status. The difference between the Grand Challenge and the Global Challenge is that the Grand Challenge is open only to areas with the championship point system. So other like TPC areas, or like Pokemon Korea aren't able to play. So you're not going to see any Pokemon. You're not going to see any Korean players or mainly any Japanese players in the Grand Challenges. The global challenge, and then the global challenges are everyone and also double as the qualifiers for Japan Nationals. Going through, we have a BFL now of 4 global/grand challenges for the season. And you also have to make sure that your Pokemon Trainer Club account is attached to your Nintendo ID so you get credit. We already have the schedule for Grand Challenges. They're doing Grand Challenges in September, October, November, January 2025, and then January 2026, and then May of 2026, with assuming February, March, April are going to be the global challenges where the Japanese players play. One thing to note is that there is nothing in December, and there also aren't any regionals listed in December as well. It looks like we're getting a month break.
Yeah, that's when ZA's coming out. Like, they want people to go play the new game.
No, ZA's coming out in October.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. October. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. October 16th. It's like 5 weeks away.
No.
Yeah.
Angelo, can I borrow some money so I can go buy a Switch real quick?
Buddy, you're telling me I don't have my Switch 2 either.
Have they announced like a Switch bundle?
It's literally it's the bundle is just the game and like just a normal Switch 2 in a game for like 500.
And so I can't borrow about 500.
Buddy, I need to spend the 500 myself. But yeah, so it's like coming out in October. So no regionals for December, no live event for December. It looks like we're getting a December break that's going to be locals only. We also don't know what format we're playing past November, and when we're going to start getting champions. So maybe the whole thing with December is they just don't want to give us info on champions, and it might get announced closer to then. Who can say? The final thing to note with the Global Challenge is that they have changed how we're getting points and how many points we're getting. Global Challenges and Grand Challenges are now going to be region-based in terms of placement. So, like,
isn't that
first
how
place
they've been? Is that not accurate?
That's not. So it's just been like only one person gets first place, and it was like a global thing. Now it's like the top North American player gets first place. The top EU player. It's the way it works now is similar to how Players Cup.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not crazy in thinking that it used. Okay.
Yeah, you are not crazy in thinking that. We're just going back to the way it was for Players Cups. It's like during Gen 9, it's been like global, like the first place player, only one person gets first. And it's also based on regional BFL, and your kickers are also based on your region. So I heard from Matt earlier this morning that the talk in the Australian server is that they aren't going to have enough players to get I think it looks like in Australia their kicker is only going to hit that 512. I'm sorry, the 513, and their max placement for points is only going to be top 256. That they aren't going to there aren't enough Oceania players to hit the top 1024 for points. So that's the other thing to know. In North America and Europe, you're not going to have that problem, but in Oceania, potentially Latin America, you might have a situation where your score would have been good enough to get top 512 points in North America, or in it might have been good enough to get top 512 in another region, but since you just don't have enough players in your region, you might miss your kicker. Also, they just completely nerfed it. Winning a global challenge now only gets you 75 points. It was hundreds of points last season. So
I can't look up the exact number.
Let me see what it was.
My guess is probably like 250.
So global challenges last season were worth 170.
Okay.
For winning. So yeah, 170 for winning. To put this in perspective, you get, so like put it like kind of like right in the middle. You get less points winning a global challenge now than you did for making top 64 previously. So they've heavily nerfed these. I know in the past, one of my locals, like, he pretty much got top 32 in at least 4 different GCs and was on the bubble for Worlds just through GCs, locals, and like he went to 3 majors and was able to pull it off. You're not going to see people get even close to a Worlds invite now with just using GCs and locals. You're going to have to really like gun for it with going to majors and doing well at majors, which is kind of what they want anyways.
Yeah, I think that's completely reasonable too.
Yeah. But still, it's like, it's good practice. I think the only reason why I really didn't play this weekend, again, my birthday weekend, I wasn't going to subject myself to playing best of 1, and I also leave on a week-and-a-half long trip in like 3 days, and I still have to get stuff ready for that.
I went undefeated this weekend, so that's cool.
I mean, technically, same, yeah. In the best of 3 world, we're just gearing up for our first set of regionals. We have 3 regionals over the next 2 weeks. We're starting out with on September 13th and 14th. We're getting both Frankfurt regionals in Europe and Monterrey regionals in the Latin American region, with Pittsburgh being our first North American regionals following up, with Frankfurt regionals having coverage next weekend. If Monterrey does get coverage, it will be unofficial coverage. We will get the official casters and everyone from TPCI in Europe, and maybe it's like Victory Road sets something up to cover the Latin American event on Twitch or their YouTube, concurrently. And I know we do have some players going to both of these events or still getting ready for Pittsburgh. And I think the best way to do that is to go and look at some of the top performing teams of the last few weeks based on what we've been seeing in our Limitless tours. Thanks to Lab Mouse, we're able to go and look at these teams, see what's going on, and look at what trends are just popping up right now.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to do something. Can you sort by win rate for me?
So the only reason why I'm not going to do win rate is because you'll see the score here.
Yeah.
So this is just, it's
one guy.
It just has one placement, so that's why I was going by score.
No, which I think is also fair. I like to look at win rate.
Okay, but no, we can also look at the win rate on these, because I mean, you can
so
also...
my thought process is sorting by win rate and then looking at teams that actually have like a decent score behind it also is like a...
Okay.
You're sorted from least to most.
Yeah. I mean, we can look at both. I think, like, looking at this, because the other thing I do want to make sure, nope, because we also go, well, record also kind of goes with
record
score
is
to an extent.
Similar to score, right?
Yeah, I think the main reason why I want to go by score as well is to just make sure, like, we're showing specific teams that you're also going to see a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think with our first 2 teams, these are 2 teams that you absolutely need to be prepared for going into that's a good player. Going into any tournament for Regulation H. And the first one, this team is the one that we're seeing the most, as the highest score. This is the Marco Sun team that really dominated last format. You had a very, very talented player in Marco Silva win LAIC, come in second at Toronto, play very well in the global challenges, the grand challenges that were in Regulation H last year. I believe this past weekend he was rocking this exact 6 in the GC. This is just one of the best teams in the format, and it's also the most proven. You have the Tail Room mode with Jumpluff and Porygon. You can play slow with Torkoal, P2, Ursaluna, or you have your fast mode with the Charizard and the Jumpluff in Sun.
I don't really like this team. I know it's really good.
Don't.
Like, obviously, it has results and everything, but
it's a click button team.
I mean,
parts of it are click button.
Not, but it is like. I am not a fan of these styles of teams. I just haven't ever really been where, position is king, etc., etc. And I mean, obviously that's true for like majority of teams, and like there are some that I really do enjoy, but these tail room teams, I feel like I just play them really poorly is a big part of it, and I don't know why I play them poorly, and I can't figure out what to do.
This is a very high skill team.
Yep. It's and very much... I'm not, so
yeah. I think the big thing with this team is first figuring out what mode is going to be the best mode to go, your slow mode or fast mode. And then through that, when to properly trade, what you want to properly trade. Using a no attack Jumpluff is a difficult thing to do. Knowing that you can get pinned into a position where, to an extent, they ignore if your opponent's able to ignore the Jumpluff, then you're just left with a mon that does nothing. At the same time, the Jumpluff's able to put on so much pressure because of the insanely fast sleep powder that it has. The Covert Cloak means that you can't fake it out, so it's able to sit in front of a Pokemon like Rillaboom, and sleep its partner and not really be afraid of it, which is honestly really useful.
Yes, but have you considered
U-turning? All the time.
No, sleep powder is not 100% accurate.
You're right, it's not. But the mon is definitely able to click it as many times as it can. And
it's the haha funny button.
It is a haha funny button for you. And you are right though. There's a lot of moves on this team that do miss. The sleep powder, you going with Charizard, you have a fast base 100 speed Mon that has a ground immunity, which is super, super useful. We all know how powerful, your Sword and Shield heads know how powerful Solar Power Zard is in the sun. We don't have the very funny, stupid Dynamax button.
Instead, you have the Choice Specs Overheat button.
Yep. Or even just Choice Specs Heat Wave. But yeah, it's every move besides Weather Ball can miss on this Charizard. And on the Torkoal, you have Overheat as well. And yeah, you can miss that Overheat. And that can really, really suck. So you are...
It can suck, Angela? I think it does because it's terrible.
Well, if you hit the Overheat, you're doing a lot of damage. Keyword, if.
Just don't miss.
Yeah, just don't miss. But yeah, any of these Sun teams, I think in general, you are just accepting variance as the risk reward of piloting a team like this. And I think the best players like Marco know that they make the proper plays where, sure, if there's a sleep powder miss or a heat wave miss or an overheat miss, you're still able to play through it and not just be completely on the back foot. And I think that's really why a player like Marco is so good with this team compared to, say, an average player using this 6. But regardless, this is a 6 that you are going to see a lot, and you should be very, very ready for this Sun matchup. The other team that you're going to see a lot, and this is a new-ish balanced team that we kind of saw towards the tail end of, around Toronto-ish. I believe we did cover this exact 6 in our last team in our Reg H prep. This is the double setup Electabuzz balance team. This has you have double fake out, you have coaching, you have 2 different ways to
coaching plus scale shot
boost.
is really, really powerful.
Yep. It's like a dragon dance.
Swords Dance is really, really good, especially when you just go, haha, click the sucker punch button.
With Terra Dark.
Yeah, Quiver Dance is absurd. Like, Sneasler doesn't want to attack into this Volcarona on the off chance it gets burnt itself, so, like, yeah, this is more my style of team. Like,
yeah, this is a very good team. You have balance aspects. This Dragonite is the Terra Normal Extreme Speed variant instead of the Tailwind Terra Fairy or Terra Steel variant that we've seen in the past. You want to keep the Haze on this, though. The Haze is also, even though you are a team that likes boosting yourself, Haze is just a great anti-BS button on your opponent's side. The Dragonite with Haze it's like that's your main way of stopping Dondozo. Is just stopping, like, oh, you switch into Dozo. Well, I clicked Haze.
There's also things that you can do where you like scale shot, get the speed boost. Like the following turn, you can then like haze away your defense drop and like live another hit to be able to like attack again. There's some really interesting things you can do with Haze. I don't know how good that is. Like I mean, obviously it's like the exact instance I'm talking about of like reset my speed and my defense, but yeah, this seems very much like my style of team.
Yeah. One thing I would like to note specifically on the Rillaboom is the high horsepower over U-turn. That was something we were starting to see a lot towards the tail end of Reg H last year. The ground coverage on Rillaboom, with the number of steel types in the format, that double grass plus U-turn on Rilla, you would get into positions where, oh, my opponent has like a Goldango and a Archaludon, or like an Archaludon and a Kingambit, or like Gambit and Goldango, and my Rillaboom can't come in this matchup because it does -3 damage to a third of their team at least. Like if they had like double steel plus Incin, your Rillaboom is unusable. Now with high horsepower, you can play into these steel types and actually like have Rillaboom be an active part of your team in these matchups that on paper could be very, very bad for the double grass plus U-turn version of Rillaboom. This team specifically was piloted to a first place finish by Yotam, who is one of the top players in the country, qualified for Worlds last year. So this is a really good example of this 6, and I'd say this is one of the more common balance teams that you will see that offer this setup route with the Electabuzz. Electabuzz plus Gambit lead is so oppressive, especially with the Terra Ghost on Electabuzz to get around fake outs, just going Terra Ghost, follow me into Swords Dance, and then threatening Sucker Punch, like follow me Sucker Punch every turn after the fact. That's just a really great way to begin like putting on immediate pressure, and then you can have like D-Knight Sneasler or Rilla Sneasler or Volk Sneasler in the back in order to clean up your opponent. Just a very, very, very oppressive team. Now, another team that we will be looking at, this one won a recent tour. It was a Frankfurt prep tour, or at least, like, I'd say, like, the best way to put it is this is a new style of team that we're seeing. It is called Guard. This is a iteration on the Doug trio. Get it? You get it, Carter? You get it? The Doug trio? Did your computer freeze or oh, come on! That was very good.
It was very mediocre, but go on.
And also, I might as well just pull up Doug, just for those of you who did forget, Doug is the Dragonite, Ursaluna, Blood Moon, Goldango trio, one of the best offensive trios that we were seeing in the format. Towards the end of the season last year, we were seeing these three Pokemon, usually backed with Incineroar, Amoonguss, and Sneasler, as you see here. This 6 itself is still very, very good, with the very fast Life Orb Goldango, this classic Loaded Dice, Multi-Scale, Terra Fairy, Scale Shot, Tailwind, Haze, Dragonite, the Blood Moon Ursaluna with its Assault Vest, and then, of course, your Incin, your Terra Psychic Amoonguss, and your Terra Stellar Sneasler with Sash. This 6 is still very, very, very good.
Why are we Terra Psychic?
It's specifically for the
the Indeedee stuff? Like have a resistance?
The size spam matchup, yes.
Why not go dark so you're actually immune?
Because they will. Yes, because then they will just click close combat into you.
Yeah, but then you're also immune to like Prankster Taunt if that's a thing on like other teams as well. And like,
yeah,
I think
but
having
like
immunity seems really good.
It's like in a lot of cases you really aren't terroring the Amoonguss. Like as someone who's played this team, you're really a lot of times like the team that you play, the times you will terror this Amoonguss is into like specifically like the hard trick room stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This team doesn't really like if they're able to do like the Gallade plus like Indeedee hat stuff. The Terra Psychic Amoonguss is like, okay, well, I could stay alive and click Spore, because even if like you go like Terra Water or Terra Dark, they could be like, okay, well, I'm just going to use Sacred Sword with my Gallade, or
and that's when you don't Terra,
or I'm going to Degleam, or like, yeah, it's just a mess. The Terra Psychic's just the safe Terra for that matchup specifically. A lot of the other times you're going to want to use like the defensive Terra, your Ursaluna Blood Moon, the Goldango, or your Dragonite. Those are the three you terror the most. But in general, I think what people are trying to do with this trio of Pokemon over here is take it to the next level, add layers to it. This is like a classic balance team. It plays exactly like what you expect like pure balance to play as. This team adds a few other layers to it. Mainly one of the things it does is the main 5 that you're looking at are you're taking the Doug core and you're adding Rillaboom and Annihilate. Note that since the Ursaluna Blood Moon has the Assault Vest, a lot of times on this team you'll use the Miracle Seed Rillaboom. That's usually going to be Grassy Glide, Fake Out, Wood Hammer, and then either Protect or U-turn. You can get away with not running ground coverage on this team because you have the Earth Power from the Ursaluna.
You can get away with not playing the ground coverage because you have the ground coverage.
Yes, exactly. You already have it on your team.
The way you worded that made me laugh. Just, you don't need this. You don't need this thing because you have this thing.
Because you have the thing. Yeah. It's just on a different Pokemon. And the Annihilate is becoming one of the best Pokemon in the format.
It's because he's literally goated.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And you're going to see this, the last spot here, or at least like the last spot here, that's the spot that will change around. There are 3 main Pokemon that you are going to see.
Icicle Spear and Ninetales is wild.
Yep. Icicle Spear, because that gives you the ability where you can lead Ninetales Annihilate.
And beat up an opposing
You
Sneasler?
You could go like Icicle Spear into the Annihilate. You can threaten screens. You can threaten Icy Wind. You can just bulk up and switch. There's so many different options.
Oh, I was trying to break through Sash and like KO.
Again, breaking through Sash as well.
I think that might be a little less damage than I want it to be, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Icicle Spear is not picking up a Sneasler. Honestly, like, I mean, let's run the calc.
I'm gonna say it probably does.
Oh no, I'm thinking of it into Whims.
Into Whims? That's probably it's probably enough because it's super effective. Into Sneasler, I bet it's probably 5 hit is probably like at most 40% if I was a betting man, maybe more. What's Sneasler's defense?
Just pulling up right now. So I'm also doing like timid. Like I am going like absolute min because you're not going to be running any offense on this team. Into Sneasler. Into like the 4 HP Sneasler. Icicle Spear, 4 hit. Oh, that's 3. So it's just going average because you're not running loaded dice. An average of 3 hits is doing 23 to 28%.
Man, me saying 40 was like pretty spot on then.
If you so a 5 hit Icicle Spear is again 0 IV timid is doing 38 to 48%. So yeah, solid guess on the 5 hit. Into Whimsicott. You aren't picking up Whims. The 2 like a 4 HP Whims, you're doing 66 to 88%. Which begs the question: if I was 31, if you're 31 IV, you have a 2.6% chance of one-shotting Whimsicott.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yes, but then you're running the max, which you don't want to run the max, of course.
It's fine.
So,
it's fine.
Okay. So the Ninetales version gives you again the ability to set up this Annihilate. That is another option as a win con. Blizzard in the snow is just broken. It's just fast Blizzard is your screw it. I can get a freeze and win this game that I shouldn't win. Icy Wind is one of your 2 sources of speed control, along with the Tailwind on Dragonite. Aura Veil Screens is also really, really strong. Your other 2 options that you're going to see with this 5, the first is Mouseape, which you saw last week won the VR tournament. Maushold, again, you get that classic Mouseape lead. You get your damage reduction with Friend Guard instead of the Aurora Veil, and you add the option of redirection as well, something that Ninetales lacks. And the third mon that you usually see with this on this team will be Magmar. Magmar, again, it's a great answer into Sneasler because it's a follow me Vital Spirit mon. You get Clear Smog as an option.
Or it's a follow me Flame Body mon.
It's also a follow me Flame Body mon.
That's probably another. I would rather be Vital Spirit, but it could be.
It could be. With you saying that, another mon in the earlier versions of this team, you would see the support Volcarona on this team as a Rage Powder Flame Body mon. But yeah, this is another sort of balanced team that does lean more towards like setup / bulky offense / screens. Again, you can see the Mouseape mode as well. This is just another way to look at this trio of Pokemon that really dominated the latter part of really, say at least the latter half of Regulation H, and it's just showing that a team that does have these set parameters, or at least like thought was like this is quote unquote solved. We're figuring out new ways to use these Pokemon in this format. So what else is there? There's a few others. I'd say one of the other teams to just, again, keep an eye out for always is your classic rain team, as we see here. You have your Fire Water Grass with the Rain mode, the Basculegion, Incin, Basculegion / Pelipper, Incin, Amoonguss, and then your Double Steel with Goldango and Arch.
Yeah, this team.
This is the.
I feel like this team hasn't really changed in ever.
It hasn't, but the thing is, because it's so good.
I understand why it hasn't changed. That doesn't change my opinion that I think it's boring.
It's changed to an extent in like terms of one of the techs we see here, like we see the Icy Wind on like a Scarf Icy Wind Basculegion. The way that the Goldango plays has changed a little. It's been smaller changes like that. You haven't seen like a full-blown change. This is also an example of a team that, like Rillaboom without the ground coverage just really sucks into, and why you're seeing that ground coverage on Rillaboom when you're playing Rillaboom on teams without its own ground coverage. Again, this is a classic team for this format, and just you got to make sure you have a rain option, or at least an answer into rain. Just going to go through. There's a few others that I think are worth covering. Just going through those two.
Carl, you can leave all this in. This is great content.
Yeah. No, wait. This we're fine.
Bring out the dozo.
Yeah, we have to. We can't not talk about it.
We could just be like, yeah.
Oh, it's really quick.
T-Tar.
Yeah, this is one. And then what else? That's like and then this
yeah, that's probably 20 minutes with
for like
stuff.
key ones. Yeah,
it's probably like 20 minutes with stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about, back to a what Carl was calling the Hug Trio, or at least like the P2.
Now, see, that's a funny joke.
I hate you. This is my Joker moment.
You want to share your screen again?
Oh wait, it's not.
No.
Did I cancel
You did.
it? Oh jeez, one moment. Oh no, I don't know which one's which. Carl,
actually leave all this in. This is
definitely leave this in.
This is peak.
There we go. Sorry about that. This is so the basis of the Ursaluna P2 balance team that was very popular throughout the entirety of Regulation H. Again, my group very known for running this. You had both Junie and Tony do very, very well with this team, or at least this archetype. A lot of people have been moving towards running it instead of having a fighting Pokemon in the 6th slot, putting a Pokemon that has a ground immunity in the 6th slot. Last week at the VR tournament, we saw a lot of Hydreigon do very, very well. And Hydreigon overall, it's just like a very unique Pokemon. It's unbelievable in all weather matchups, it feels like, with its coverage. And
not only that, but like being able to resist all the moves coming off of like the primary forms of weather. Granted, like Ninetales is starting to pop up a little more, so like you probably don't want to bring it in front of Ninetales, but you have other like in the rain or sun matchups, this thing just goes, yeah, sure, whatever, I don't care. You just sit there and I think the other thing, snarl them, and then they're sad.
And I think the other thing, what you were saying, it's like the difference between like a team with you're not going to see like a snow team.
No, you're not going to see a dedicated snow team. No.
And so it's like the guard team that we just showcased, it has a Ninetales.
It doesn't make it doesn't make it a. It's not a snow team. It's not a hail team. Yeah.
Yeah. So especially with the fact that you're also the goggles, where it can go in front of a jump bluff and just like snarl spam, or just go be like, screw it, I'm just going to Draco into the spot next to the jump bluff, and you can't Rage Powder this away. There's nothing you can do to stop me. Another version of this team that's doing very well too is running it with the Dragonite as well. A lot of times on a team like this, you'll still see the multi-scale, but you'll see like either a 2-attack, or in this case, a 3-attack Dragonite. You really don't care that much about the Tailwind because your team is relatively slower. And you are running P2. It's just, again, another super bulky Dragon type that sits next to the Ursaluna, so you can click Earthquake more often. Which on a lot of variants of this team you just can't do unless you were like running Wide Guard Mienshao, or a random Terra Flying. And so like running the team this way allows you to click Earthquake more, which is one of Ursaluna's best moves. So it is, again, your classic P2 Ursaluna balance. It's just changing around that 6th slot from a fighting type into something that is just another ground, like a ground immunity to help maximize your Ursaluna more.
Yeah, you don't need a fighting type. You have P2.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're running the Terra Fighting P2 with Terra Blast to get that. A lot of people, at least towards the later part of the format last year, were figuring out, like, they were EVing their Pokemon to pretty much guarantee that P2 would almost always get an attack boost. There are people at this point who are just saying, screw it, I'm going to be like sassy P2 and I'll throw like 4 points or 12 points into attack because I just don't care about my speed whatsoever. And that is, I think, the P2 player's way of counteracting being heavier in special defense and lower on defense. Again, as a way to adapt to the meta that isn't just changing your Pokemon, but just making a small tweak to your spreads. The next two teams, actually, let me just get this team out of the way because this is something that, again, is a well-known team. Another team that has Ninetales. This is the Tang team. You have the very bulky,
the dedicated snow team.
Dingo. Yes, the dedicated snow team. You have the Grassy Seagull Dango, the Rillaboom. This is the Jolly 252 Rillaboom with Drum Beating as a mode of speed control. The Hisuian Arcanine, the Dragonite with Tailwind and 2 attacks, and the Coaching Sneasler, which is really nice next to the Rillaboom, the Dragonite, and the Hisuian Arcanine.
I also really love this White Herb Sneasler. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah. The best way to counteract Sneasler is to like just intimidate cycle it. It's like, idiot, now I'm faster. get dunked on, idiot.
Or you can just be like, oh, you aren't going to intimidate me? I'm firing my own close
Here's
combat,
the CC,
and I'm activating
idiot.
It that way.
It reminds me a lot of the old Unburdened Halucha sets.
Yes. Did we ever talk about Halucha getting a Mega on the pod?
I'm gonna say it. It's okay.
It's cool. It's fine. Yeah, no, like, it's going to really, really depend on its ability. It's because you can't run Unburdened Halucha.
Give it Moxie and it might be good.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's going Moxie, like, really just anything.
Yeah,
honestly.
Moxie is a wrestler thing, right? Cool. I mean, it's not, but like, I mean, it is.
You have to have Moxie to be a wrestler or whatever that is. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, back to this team. Yeah, the White Herb Sneasler is really cool.
Please. Just one time.
Yeah. The Ninetales here, it's Encore and Aurora Veil. One of the most threatening ways like this team just gets into a win composition is like getting the Grassy Seagull Dango behind screens. It pretty much becomes unkillable. And at that point, you can just like Nasty Plot, make it rain, Nasty Plot, make it rain, filter it, like cycle in a fake out to just make it cleaner, and just go from there. One of the other cool things about this team that I do like, the Hisuian Arcanine is faster than many Pokemon in this format, including Goldango, and like you can just, I'm gonna say matchup check, but like in a Goldango mirror, you can literally just say, I'm calling that you aren't going to Terra, and I'm just going to click Flare Blitz into you and pick you up. Like, we saw that on stream, I believe it was like a day 1 match at Toronto, where it was like a game 3, like Justin Tang was playing against Goldango, and he was like, okay, well, sucks, I'm clicking Flare Blitz.
Man, sure would be a shame if,
yeah. And especially because, like, some of these Terra Steel Goldangos as well, it's like, okay, well, you have to switch or you lose a Pokemon right now. And it's, if you don't respect it, you just lose your Goldango, which is really bad to do in this format.
I mean,
so yeah,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, I think this is a very cool team. It's honestly, I think the way it plays, it's like slightly different from the way it plays is a little different from the other teams in the format. With a lot, like, you're putting a lot of emphasis, in my opinion, on this specific Goldango. A lot of the Pokemon on the team, because like your Hisuian Arcanine is there to get rid of the steel types it doesn't like. The Rillaboom is here to get the good to get the grassy seed off. The Alolan Ninetales is here to put screens up for an on-crit core trap Pokemon, and just like Dragonite Sneasler, you can just honestly at this point throw those on any teams, and it'll be just fine.
Yep.
Last archetype we're going to go over. This is like our quote-unquote sand. Really, it's just an updated version of the hyper-offensive, like, Indeedee male Sneasler teams that we were seeing throughout the last format. I know the earliest versions of this team you were playing last year. You know, the Indeedee Sneasler side of it.
Well,
you were Indeedee Sneasler. Who was your tailwind? Did you have
Wimps? I had Wimps.
Or you had Wimps?
Yeah, of course I'm going to play Wimps. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. I'm going to play my favorite Pokemon, Angelo. I'm going to play Mouse Ape Whimsicott. What else do I need? Everything else is just extra.
Yeah. So what you're doing with this team here, again, it's just very hyper offensive. You have a lot of different lead combos. Indeedee Talonflame's a great lead. Sneasler and Talonflame's a great lead. Talonflame, Blood Moon, Electabuzz Blood Moon especially is one of the best leads in the format. All of these Pokemon can just put out immediate pressure and just put your opponent on the back. It's definitely a team where if your opponent leads incorrectly, they're just immediately on the back foot. And you have a Terra Normal, Life Orb, Blood Moon, Ursaluna in Tailwind, or you have your Psychic Seed already procced, and your Sneasler and Indeedee you're just firing off massive attacks immediately. And at the end of it all here is the Tyranitar. Tyranitar feels very much like one of the anti-BS bonds in the format. You have a lot of fighting type hate on this team between the Talonflame and the Indeedee. So you're able to play this Pokemon that is quad weak to fighting. It acts as your weather disruptor, just as a very bulky, very, very bulky physical attacker on the special side. When you have both the Assault Vest and the Sandstream going, I remember this was last season. I clicked Vacuum Wave into a Tyranitar that just didn't Terra. And I'm like, okay, it's ×4. It should do a lot of damage. I know it's all of the boost and everything, but it's ×4, and I did 26%. And I was like, that's a lot less than I thought. And I proceeded to just get my shit stomped in because I was like, I can 2-hit this. I'm like, oh no, it's a 4-hit, and they just low kicked me. It's over. It's just a really, really cool Pokemon in this format. As we've talked about previously, talking about Tyranitar, all of the other weather setters in the format that you see are weak to rock. So you can bring T-Tar into any matchup and its weather matchup, and it's always live because you can turn off their weather and then immediately pressure whoever their setter is by clicking Rock Slide into them. And either forcing a Terra, forcing a switch, just making your opponent react or lose a Pokemon instead of them trying to be proactive. And I think that's the best way to describe this type of this type of team. You're always trying to make your opponent react to what you're doing. You're never putting them in a proactive state. And you can see the same thing here. This is just the last version. This is the version with Dozo. So instead of having the T-Tar and Electabuzz, you just have, again, your Sneasler Indeedee mode, your Talonflame Ursaluna mode, and then just Dozogiri, because you could spend all this time trying to deal with Dozogiri, and then there's oh yeah, I have Sneasler Indeedee in the back to clean up, or I have Blood Moon and Tailwind to clean up. I think this is probably the best way to play Dozo in this format.
Yeah. Sneasler's really powerful, man. Being able to this is essentially just a 2-2-2 team if you really think about it that way.
Ethical 2-2-2.
Sure.
Not that ethical, but more ethical. Oh, So like that. Okay, so this actually.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Sneasler itself, Dire Claw is unethical,
and as a result,
Sneasler by like the transitive property.
Every Pokemon who gets access to Dire Claw is unethical. Correct.
Unethical.
Yes. Which involves Sneasler and Smeargle.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it, right?
But yeah,
Sneasel doesn't, right?
No, I don't think so. Let me see.
I'm looking. I'd say on the computer, but I'm not because it'll crash.
No, I know. It is the signature move of Sneasler. It learns it as its evolution move. So Sneasel, you're valid.
Does Smeargle not able to learn it?
Yeah, it's only by level. Like when.
Okay, got it. No, I'm on Showdown, and if you sort by Dire Claw, it's the only one that comes up. I'm like, hold on, that's not right. But it's because anytime you search for a move, Smeargle will pop up then.
Got it. Yep.
We got there eventually.
So, we did. So actually this does come up with one of the things we had. Let me see. And this came up sort of in the server. And it was Lightning Tail Pikachu. And mind you, if you're listening to this pod, this is not me calling you out. I think this is just a good example of like
totally calling you out right now.
No, not at all. This is just more so using an example of like when prepping for a tournament, one of the things you really need to know at any tournament, because he was playing in the GC this weekend, and one of the things he said, he's like, I feel like I'm not winning against Sneasler. They're all carrying Throat Chop next to this Indeedee. Like, I can't bring my Goldango, and I just don't feel like I have a matchup. And I think it comes down to this. Like, we all talk about how unfair Sneasler can be, and it's because of Dire Claw. It's insanely fast and has a move that not only does a solid amount of stab damage, but has the chance to poison you, put you to sleep, or paralyze your Pokemon, and you don't know what's going to happen, and your opponent doesn't know what's going to happen, and it is what it is. With that being said, first of all, like, you need to know, like, the meta. You need to know what teams to expect. That's why we have episodes like this. It's like, these are the teams that you're seeing. Because a handful of these teams we weren't seeing about 3-4 weeks ago. The meta, even though we've played this meta before, it's always going to be changing. We're always finding something. I mean, Regulation G Part 2, Koraidon went from the format joke to an international champion. All it took was one Wolfe Glick to do it, but that was the growth that we would see. Same with going into a format like this. Like, we're seeing a lot of different changes in the format, and if you need to know, like, what to expect. If your team has an issue into Sneasler, not Dire Claw, but like has an issue into Sneasler, you have to rework your team, or maybe it's just have to accept like the team might not be good enough for this format, at least at this point. Carter, did you freeze again?
No, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, good, because you were like statuesque.
No, my group chat was talking about fantasy football, and I was. Yeah, I'm here.
The fantasy football, the team that you're on bye with.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's more so like the whole thing I'm getting at is like like a lot of these episodes are what is being played and understanding. Like, you can think you have a perfect team or like the team works cohesively really well, but if you don't know what else is being played in the format, like Lightning Tail Pikachu didn't realize it's like, yeah, Indeedee Sneasler.
Indeedee is a real mon in this format, yeah.
It's a very real mon, and Indeedee Sneasler with dark coverage on the Sneasler
it's pretty common
is a very, very real pair. So not being prepared for that and then seeing it a lot, that's going to really throw you off.
Like we had said during the tier list episode, if you have a bad Sneasler matchup, your team is bad.
Mm-hmm.
You should have a Sneasler
and there's ways to fix it. Yeah, and there's ways to fix it, but like you need to make sure you're planned for this Pokemon specifically. We've seen it a lot in this format. Like, a lot of the teams that we showed either had Sneasler or Blood Moon or Ursaluna. You need to have answers to these Pokemon. Like, if you have a bad Blood Moon matchup, you need to really work on your team. You need to find a fighting type somewhere. if you have a bad Sneasler matchup, you need to rework your plan into it. It's a tougher Pokemon to go up into, but like, again, there's a lot of great flying types, especially or dragon types that you can use. There's this Pokemon here is the reason why the Adamant Scale Shot Dragonite became so popular, because Adamant Scale Shot Dragonite will one-hit KO the Sneasler. And that, like, these are things that you just need to make sure that you have in the back of your mind while you are playing and building your teams and preparing for tournaments. Whether it's the next Global Challenge, Grand Challenge, or one of these upcoming regionals, like, you're going to see these specific teams, or at least variants of these teams, pop up. And I think for like main teams, like those are like the really, really main ones to see. I think we're solid on anything else you see. Like, I mean, there's going to be other things, like there's people who will play the P2 ursaluna stuff with Kilowattrel instead of a dragon type, or the hard, like, we all know what the Psy-Spam stuff looks like. Actually, I think the only other team to really talk about is like, and again, it's just another iteration of the like this Sneasler and Indeedee stuff, is the more dedicated sand version of this team, where you have THR Excadrill Corviknight, and then the Goggles Final Gambit Annihilate as like another support / damage mon. This is like the dedicated sand team. I know Joe Ugarte played it last week at VR. He cut with it, and then he said, I didn't even expect to cut with this. It doesn't feel that good. So
awesome.
It's there. Joe played it and piloted it well, and like, we did see Sand plus Corv win a regional last year in Europe. So it's like, it's real in that sense. And if we are talking about like teams to just keep an eye out for, have a plan for Sand, but it could still just be put in that umbrella of have a plan for Sneasler, like, plus Indeedee now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. So yeah, moving forward, I know for things popping up, your computer's been, like, because you haven't been able to stream at all because your computer.
I have attempted to stream, and then so what will happen is I'll start my stream. I have like my pre-stream set up and everything, and then Streamlabs will crash. So I have to stop my stream to restart it so I can actually go live.
Yep.
Or I'm recording a podcast and I open a second window and my entire thing crashes. That's been another thing of just like Google Chrome eats too much and then it dies. So I switched Internet Explorers, like Internet Access, like search engine. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Searching.
I switched apps, and so I started using Opera, and it does the same thing too. So I don't know, because of course when I stream, I have my Twitch page open, my chat open. I have YouTube playing. I have like 3 different pages of notes.
The ROM client.
Plus my damage calc open. I have like 7 tabs open at all times when I stream. And that's ignoring my game and my actual like streaming software. So I have a lot going on.
Yeah, it's not good.
And the downside is it might just be time to look into getting a new computer, and I really don't want to.
No, also, what's funny, like, the computer I'm on now, like, it's not like the computer I would use, like my old computer that I used when I started, like when I would just guest on the podcast before I was a full-time host. When we would record on Discord and like we would have like record our own audio and send it over to Carl instead of using like Riverside. The first time I tried using Riverside, my computer, it was like 8 or 9 years old at the time, and it was like I won't. My computer literally was so old it wouldn't update Google Chrome, and Riverside just wouldn't work on it.
Cool.
And so like I had to record one episode of the podcast on my work computer, and I'm like, oh yeah, nope. No, I'm not going to get in trouble for this, but I really shouldn't test my luck. And so that like before when Carl said, "Hey, I need you and Jay to like hop on and be hosts," that is when I went and decided to I'm like, I got to get a new computer ASAP. So I definitely feel that. So yeah, I'd say future for the next few weeks for the podcast. I know, like again, like at some point you will be hopefully streaming again.
Yeah.
Once you get your computer figured out.
Yeah, hopefully. I need to call the guy who like did my repairs and be like, "Hey, what's the issue? Because this is not working."
Yeah, and hopefully that can get fixed up. Next week it will be Carl either solo or with a guest because I will be away and you will be working.
Yep.
You will be back with Carl the week after for Pittsburgh coverage, and I will hopefully be back by the end of September. At least that's the plan. I won't be on vacation. So if I'm not back by then,
we get it, Angelo. You travel a lot because you're rich.
I'm not rich. Did you see what Kayla sent me?
No, I didn't. Was this in the group chat today?
Yeah, Kayla went and sent me. She was like, Angelo, if you and Amanda want to come move closer to Carl and I, this is like a town over, and it was like a $3.9 million mansion with. One moment, I'm gonna get because the amount of land was crazy.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was like a 6,425 square foot house, 6 beds, 7 baths.
Why do you have more baths than beds?
I don't. It probably is counting a half bath.
Yeah, but
everyone. Want me to tell you what it really is? It's everyone gets their own bedroom and bathroom plus one for guests.
Insane behavior.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, and she was like, "Oh, Carl told me to send it." I'm like, "Yeah, sure he did." I am not wealthy. Just trust me.
I'm just saying, you're the reason I don't have a Switch right now because you're holding.
I don't have one. But yeah, I'll be on vacation for the next few weeks, and yeah, that pretty much is it. You have anything else to say before I say the? I think I remember what I say when I end the podcast.
Let's find out. This is the part where I tell you no, we need to draw, but you drew last time we were on, and my computer won't let me. My computer will literally die if I try.
You know how we do the cold open? That'll be the cold close. That'll be that's how we'll what? Yeah, we're going to Sopranos ending this.
Yeah, I'm gonna open Paint. Just give me the first one off the dome. What am I drawing?
Okay, draw an ursaluna Blood Moon. Okay, draw my favorite Pokemon.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay, so we're going to do this, and yeah, if he drops, I'm just going to.
If we die, we die.
If we die, we die. I'm just doing the end. Yeah.
Nubby little fingers. Yeah. Angela, you had to continue to talk.
Well, I know. I'm just seeing you do this, and I'm also pulling up Blood Moon Ursaluna.
It's got some real hunchback energy going.
No, massive hunchback energy.
I don't know how to do that, so I don't know what the hell its feet look like. Probably just claws.
Feet. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. This is so bad.
This is a person. You are drawing a person.
Hold on. We got claws.
I mean, Like literally, like I said, Blood Moon Ursaluna, not Bear Week in P Town.
We're vibing, okay? She's got her nails did, okay?
Yeah, okay, she got her nails did. Where's her
I'm
head?
working on it. So we got the one eye. Got some eyes going on here. This one has a massive scar.
Because it's edgy. It's so crazy because, like, so when Blood Moon Ursaluna was announced in first showcase, I'm like, I'll never use this Pokemon. And it was literally just the fact that I got the optimal 0-0 on my first attempt. I'm like, never mind. This is like the sign from deity that this is going to be my child. And, yeah.
No. That looks too much people. We need more bear ears. Yeah. Bear ears. And I think it's like divided in color around the scar too. Are you supposed to be doing an outro right now?
No, we're going through with this. I'm doing the outro when your computer dies. This literally looks like not even a Bond villain. This looks like an Austin Powers villain.
Oh, nope. I want that to be black again. Boop. See, Angela, this is how you draw. You just kind of wing it, and then...
I'm just miserable at it.
Oh! Oops.
That's not what was supposed to happen.
There we go. Much better. I love this part of the podcast. I'm just throwing that out there. This is more orange than I want, but...
Yeah. Orange, brown, what is it?
Let's do... Yeah, there we go. That looks more brown. Yeah, now we're talking.
Okay.
And I actually want this, but I want a little lighter. Yeah, give me like that. That'll work. Yeah.
Are you done?
Oh, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, man. I feel like
I'm gonna share what Blood Moon.
I feel like there's some white fur that I'm missing.
No, you're missing something very, very important.
I have the eye patch. What more could I be missing?
I'm gonna take over the share.
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna sign this.
You're missing the Blood Moon.
Oh, yes.
It's in the name! Like, and you went with, like, a light, like, brown instead of, like, this gray that's on it, and, like, one eye is regular and one eye's... The scarred eye is also supposed to be, like, black. It's seeing the dark eye. In the grand scheme of things, like, if instead of, like, that lighter brown, if you made that portion gray, and also didn't forget the, the name of the Pokemon, then yeah, it would have been fine.
Honestly, this just looks like Ursaring with a scar.
That's literally what... But, like, is it, in the grand scheme of things, if you're looking at, like, so if you, like, looked at Ursaring, and you showed me, like, if I showed you Ursaluna and Blood Moon Ursaluna, you would think that Blood Moon would be, like, the evolution. I think Blood Moon looks more like Ursaring than Ursaluna, the Hisuian Ursaluna does.
Yeah, it's weird to me that Teddy Ursa stands up, Ursaring stands up, Ursaluna does not.
Yeah, when I first saw the design for it, I was like, oh, this is weird. Regular Ursaluna, and then Blood Moon, I'm like, okay, this makes more sense.
Aren't we supposed to be ending the podcast?
I will be now.
Thank you.
But you actually... I just want to say, you actually went through and did everything with your computer.
Yeah, I actually got
crashing.
to.
Yeah, so let's do this real quick. Okay, everyone, thank you very much for joining us today. And if let us know in the comments how you did in the GC, if you played in the GC, if you went to any locals in this first week, and let us know how you did in your locals. Or if you're going to any, let us know what you're excited about in your Pokemon playing. You can do that on our YouTube page at Littleroot Lessons in the comments. You can also leave comments on Spotify, which is where you can find this podcast as well in an audio format, and actually audio and video. And you can also find the podcast in audio form on Apple Podcasts and any other podcatchers of your choice. You can follow the podcast on Blue Sky at Littleroot Lessons, and you can follow our hosts, Carl at Musical, Carter at Mr. Missouri 25, and myself at Rose Tinted Cheeks. One of the things you can also do, the links are going to be in the podcast and on our social media, is join our Discord. This past week, which I forgot to even mention, we did our first ladder tour in a very, very long time.
It was very enjoyable.
We had 17 people play. We'd like to have a lot more play. And let us know you want more like on cards events, and we will host them. One of us will host this event for you. And so we can just again play more Mons, enjoy the community together, have more fun. And you can do all of that by letting us know, by joining the Discord and literally telling us or posting at us on our socials as well. Yeah, I think I got everything. Thanks, everyone. Bye. I'm on vacation. Bye.